There you go.
Down on it.
Okay, so when I decided that I wanted to try these modalities, I had to come off of the hydrocodone, which was, you know, the opiates or whatever they're called. I don't know. But that was terrifying for me, absolutely terrifying, because that was the only thing that was allowing me to live. And what I mean by live, I had no kind of life, but I mean survive. I'm not the kind of person that would commit suicide because of my religious beliefs, but because of my religious beliefs and my husband are the only reason I didn't. And when you're living like that day to day and that kind of pain, the thought of someone taking away the one medication that is keeping you from losing it is terrifying. I was terrified. I was absolutely scared to death. And I knew that in order to try these modalities, I had to come off of it. So I did. I did a quick taper. I wouldn't recommend that. I was glad that I did, but I had withdrawals. I'd never taken drugs before, and I didn't understand what that was going to be like. And it was very difficult. I was extremely sick. I was in a lot of pain. The VA doctor worked with me as far as pain medicine. She called me to check on me and see, you know, do we need to increase one of your other medications like a Flexeril or something to try to help you through this process. So I was monitored during it, but it was extremely difficult and terrifying. But I was holding out hope that this, you know, modality thing was going to work. And the first modality didn't work, and it was a 2-week trial or 3-week trial, and I was devastated because I thought, what mistake did I make? I just got off of hydrocodone. They're not going to put me back on hydrocodone because, you know, they're trying to get people off of that. And I understood why, because I suddenly stopped asking my husband every 2 seconds to repeat himself, or telling him, you didn't tell me that, you didn't say that, nobody told me that. And he's like, yeah, I just told you 2 minutes ago. I didn't realize that I slurred my speech all the time. I didn't realize that I couldn't carry on a conversation or finish a sentence because I constantly would lose my train of thought and just forget completely what I was even talking about. And that kind of makes you isolate a little bit when you realize that. People tend to not want to talk to you very much because you're not really coherent a lot of the times, and you lose your friends, you lose your family. And again, I was in a really bad place. And the Neurolumen was something that when I started it from the very first day, it made such a difference that I told my husband was with me, and I told him in the car on the way home, I was like, thank God for this product, because there's finally something that helps. There's finally something that has made a difference. And then I the whole way home, I hope it's not in my head. I hope I'm not just wishful thinking. What if it's not real? What if it really didn't work? You know, and he's like, well, we'll find out tomorrow, you know. And each day we went, I had the same results. Each day I left feeling a little more relaxed, a little more hopeful that it wasn't just all in my head. And by the end of the trial, I couldn't wait for them to, I mean, I was just handed over, where do I sign? Where do I get it? And then I just wanted to hug it the whole way home. Like, just nobody take my Neurolumen away from me. I don't take any opioids, any kind of opioids now, thankfully. I can now drive a car because, as you know, if you're on opioids, you're not supposed to drive a vehicle. And a lot of people don't know this, but if you get pulled over by a police officer, you will get a DUI if you are on opioids and driving a vehicle and they find out. Besides the fact that it's not really that safe, you know, if I can't carry on a conversation and I'm slurring my speech, what's my reaction time going to be? So if you're wanting to get off of opioids, if you're wanting to have a life back, please consider the Neurolumen, because it is a game changer, and it will change your life.